I've packed my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. I leave a home that was built to last. I think it's time I left the nest. I say, I've packed my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. Why leave a home that was built to last? They say with tears in their eyes, feeling helpless. We made this with you in mind. Why leave it behind? Haven't we taught you well? Was this all just a waste of our time? Well,
howdy folks, this is Dan from the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight. Yeah, I wasn't expecting to see you again so soon either. Season 7 just wrapped up. It was our best season yet. Couldn't be more happy with it. And the good news is that you get this bonus episode too. This is Sarah Eide. She reached out to me a while ago saying, hey, I'd love to be on the show. I have this interesting story, which we will get to. And so we were trying to figure out the timing, seeing if she could be a part of the regular season 7 lineup, and then it just turns out that she's this special bonus episode. So it's pretty cool. She's a singer-songwriter, great piano player. She has come to Rochester. We'll get to more of her story in a bit. But the good news is, even though the official season's over, there are still people who make this show possible. So before we talk with them, let's give Sarah a warm spotlight round of applause.
Josh Pettinger and crew at Wicked Squid Studios on Smith Street in Rochester have the expertise, experience, and the facility to handle all of your band's needs with an emphasis on community experience and fun. Drop them a line today to schedule your next recording session or to become a member of their studio today. This episode is brought to you by Bop Shop Records, Bernunzio Uptown Music, Sound Source, and Heads Brewing. Our home again this season is the warm, creative space of Bop Shop Records. At 1460 Monroe Avenue, Bop Shop Records is celebrating 30 years of presenting live creative music and is the best place in the 585 for jazz, blues, and classic rock in a curated vinyl selection. Bernunzio Uptown Music, located in Rochester's East End, has been providing Rochester and the world with quality vintage, new, and used string instruments since 1976. Bernunzio's also offers concerts, workshops, and jam sessions. They are now also a registered Stetson hat dealer. Find your sound in a Stetson. Trusted by musicians, recording engineers, and consumers, SoundSource is the place to go for audio gear, repair, consignment needs, and to have all your questions answered by knowledgeable and friendly staff. Visit them at 161 Norris Drive today. Good people, great beer, amazing music. Heads Brewing on Atlantic Avenue is quickly becoming a Rochester and regional favorite for unique brews and one-of-a-kind music. Concerts are Thursday through Saturday, with the Rochester residency kicking each week off, but the beer and good times are on tap every day of the week.
Sarah, thank you so much for being on the show today. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Generally, we start off by asking, are you a Rochester native? But because the whole point of this interview, in addition to your great music, is that you're not from Rochester, we'll forego that, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, first off, where are you from?
Well, now I am from Rochester.
Right, now you're from Rochester.
But you mean
where'd you grow up?
So I grew up in Providence, Rhode Island, and then I went to school in Boston, so I was there for 5 years. And then I moved to Chicago. So that's where I was right before I came here. I was in Chicago for 6 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
And let's go back all the way. When did you start singing and playing piano?
I started kind of on my own around 3 years old, just sort of like, we had a piano in my house, and I just wanted to figure out how to play, Mary Had a Little Lamb and that kind of thing. And then when I was 5, I started to take, real classical lessons. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What about singing?
Singing, to be honest, I never really took, lessons. I'm taking lessons now, actually.
Yeah.
I'm taking some lessons with, actually, her name is, I believe her name is Nancy Kelly.
Yeah. Yes, Nancy Kelly.
Yeah, Nancy Kelly. She's so great. Anyways, but I loved singing. I mean, I was singing all the time. But I think because I didn't take lessons, I always felt like, oh, I'm not a singer. I'm a pianist because I was being trained as a pianist and I wasn't being trained as a singer. But I loved singing. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was singing, I don't know, probably since I was 2 or something. I have no idea, really.
And when did you start writing songs?
I started writing songs kind of in my head probably when I was 10 or something like that. Mm-hmm. They were just like little melodies or little like lyrical ideas that would pop in my head. And then I started getting serious about writing them down maybe about 14 years old, and about 16 is when I it was kind of a progress of becoming more and more serious about it.
Right.
Yeah.
And who were some of your songwriting influences?
Oh man, I would say up there when I was a teenager, probably like Ben Folds and Tori Amos, and it's because I think back then I wasn't so focused on the lyrical content as much as like how awesome the piano playing was to
Right.
me. Or I would say kind of like the marriage between the two. I really liked how, you know, they had these interesting lyrics, but they were surrounded by very interesting piano parts. So probably those two, to be honest, when I was a teenager. And then again, it kind of, you know, it's always changing and evolving.
Right. And now that you're a more mature songwriter, who are you really enjoying now and you find inspiration with?
Yeah, I'd say Anais Mitchell is like way up there. She's probably my very favorite songwriter right now, and has been for at least about 5 or 6 years. Yeah, other than Anais Mitchell, well, there's just so many. Like, of course, Joni Mitchell as
Right,
well.
of course.
They're not related for anybody who doesn't know Anais Mitchell or Joni Mitchell, but yeah, for sure, like Joni Mitchell, you know, Paul Simon, a lot of the classic songwriters from the 60s and 70s for sure are influential for me now. Yeah, but then I also really like, I don't know, like Dr. John and Alan Toussaint. I'm really into the New Orleans jazz type songwriters as well, because their songs I find kind of just cut to the chase, but are still very poetic and also very like lively and fun. So kind of the juxtaposition between those two.
So let's go to your itinerary now. We'll have to talk to our graphics department, which is me, see if we can work up an Indiana Jones style map. I can't do that, so just imagine that. So we're just going to make the trip from Rhode Island to Boston to be very small on that map.
Yeah.
Why'd you go to Boston?
So I went there because I went to Berklee College of Music. So
Tell me about that experience there.
Yeah, it was really great. I loved living in Boston. I loved going to Berklee. You know, I think all college experiences have there's ups and downs, pros and cons, but I think overall I just had such a great experience there. It was just wonderful to be I didn't grow up in a musical family. So it was just really nice to be surrounded by musicians all the time. I just felt like I was with my people, and I had never really felt that before, because I spent a lot of time with other musicians, but not quite at that capacity. So to me, that was pretty big, just doing that. And then I studied film scoring, and I think that was a good call for me to do that, even though my passion was and still is really songwriting, and they do have that as a major, but I decided to do film scoring, and that was such a great experience too, because it allowed me to record with an orchestra and like just do so much more, I think, from a technical standpoint, and like arranging and playing with all kinds of musicians, or not so much playing but writing for all kinds of musicians. So,
Yeah, and I'm sure that knowledge is translated very well to what you do now. We'll talk more about the album in a little bit, but it's very orchestrated, it's very put together. It's an awesome thing. So with such a great community at Berklee, why'd you move to Chicago?
Well, I moved there because my husband was from there. To be honest, there really wasn't any other reason. I actually thought it was going to be a pit stop. I was pretty sure I was going to move to Chicago and then like a year later move to LA and really pursue film scoring. Because at that time, once I graduated, I kind of felt like I should just do film scoring because I enjoyed it. And you go to Berklee and you see all these other great songwriters and musicians, and you're just like, oh man, I don't know if I should even touch that. I'll just do the film scoring thing, you know. So so I moved to Chicago. I was actually pregnant, and I thought, oh, I'll just like pop out this baby and then I'll just move to LA.
Yeah, simple as that.
Yeah, for anybody who has kids, it doesn't really work that way, unless maybe you have lots of money. I don't know. So I had a kid. I was actually 6 months pregnant my last semester of Berklee. I graduated, or I finished, and I was 6 months pregnant. I moved to Chicago, literally had a baby a few months later, and then I was just stuck in Chicago. Maybe that's a little cruel to say, but no, I just, having a kid is like, it's just hard to explain. It's hard to you just I wouldn't say stuck is the right word, but you just, yeah, your whole life totally shifts, like internally it shifts. And I think I was getting my bearings and kind of rediscovering actually who I was and what I really cared about, to be honest. So I spent 6 years doing that in Chicago, but it was a good experience. Yeah.
To that end, why'd you come here to Rochester?
Yeah, so I came here to Rochester because I was actually, after 6 years of being in Chicago, I was like, you know what, it's time to find a new place to live. And I had, during my time in Chicago, as I said, I really kind of rediscovered what I cared about. And I was like, I really refound songwriting and performing as the thing that mattered most to me while in Chicago. So I started, recording and performing and actually touring like here and there in the Midwest as well as New England. And so I decided, that's what I really wanted to do. And Chicago didn't really feel like the right place to do that sustainably with a family, like from a financial standpoint in particular. So I knew I needed to go somewhere else. And I happened to do a house show in Rochester. Totally, it was very random. Everything about it was random. And I just was feeling like, man, this place feels right. It just felt right. Not to sound, too like woo woo or whatever. I call it woo woo. I
think that'll catch on.
Yeah, it'll catch on. Yeah. And so honestly, I just kind of took a chance. Like that was November 2017, and then I moved here August 2018. Wow. So it all happened very quickly. I just kind of came back from this tiny mini tour that I did, and I was like, Jason, who's my husband, we should move to Rochester. I think it'd be a great place. And he's like, okay. He's very chill. So we just moved, and it's been great. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about Rochester in just a second. But part of the reason of the timing of all of this is you've released a new album. I believe that it's been in the wild one day as of right now, as of the taping. A couple days?
Yesterday.
Oh.
I released it yesterday.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's the name of the album, and tell me a little bit about it?
Yeah, it's called Dreams on Hold, and to be honest, it's kind of a lot about everything we just talked about. Yeah, it's about the balance between personal ambitions and family. And so it's kind of about love and sacrifice, I guess you could say. Love and sacrifice for yourself, but also for your family. So it's, yeah, honestly, that's kind of, if I had to really sum it up, I would say that's what it's about. So each song deals heavily with me being a mom, but also being just an individual and also being a musician, like those kinds of layers of who I am and how they interact with each other. And yeah, so that's kind of, hopefully that makes sense. That's what it's about. Yeah.
It does make sense. So coming to Rochester, obviously the people who recorded this album are different than the ones playing with you.
Yes.
So you had to pick an album release date. You have one coming up with Love and Cup, a nice MDG connection here. Is of course really important to what we do at the store. So he worked with you two, worked together a lot, figuring out the details. Big detail of this is putting together a band.
Yes.
Are these going to be a lot of the same cats we see at the show?
The people that are playing today, it's kind of half and half.
It's a little half and half.
Yeah, because I'm new here, so obviously, like, it's not like I just had this group of people ready to play with me. But it's been cool because I've had a chance to play with a number of different people, and today I've actually kind of brought some people from one group and some people from another group together to do this.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I do have to pick your brain on this. What's it like? What is it like putting together a band when you're new in the city?
Oh God, it's painful.
But you guys made it easy for her. That's what you did.
Yeah, I got really lucky, to be honest, like with finding the people for the Love and Cup show, because that was my number one priority when I came here. But yeah, it's not that easy. I think it's not too bad if you are like a single person or you don't have kids, because you maybe you have a little more time to spare to just go out to shows. I mean, going to shows and just talking to other players, is really the best way, I think, to find people to play with. But if you don't have that kind of luxury of time to just be every single night going to shows, or even if you're like me and you're too tired to go to a show every single night, it just
Right.
gets tiring. Then it's a little tricky, but yeah, somehow I maneuvered and found several people to play with that are great, that I really like, because that's the other part, is finding people that you jive with, that their style is already something that you feel like you can work with, and you can make something together. So yeah.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, can you give Sarah a round of applause? She got through most of the questions. Yeah, let's give it up for her. So if you've seen the show before, you know what this is. This is the lightning round. These are 3 big picture
Whoa.
questions, but even though it's the
Okay.
lightning round, feel free to take your time and
Okay.
answer. They are
All
big questions. Hopefully I get this in the right order here. I decided for some reason to do this without a script, so we're just going to see what happens. If you could accomplish one thing in music and be happy, what would it be?
Okay, I'll just say one. I'll say one. I can stick to one. So, yeah, I guess if I really had to choose one, I think my big goal is to have at least one song really just be a part of the American lexicon.
Yeah.
You know, and for me that probably means like if I could write songs for a Disney movie, like for
You'd be
sure,
set.
you know, like basically be kind of like Alan Menken, you know, and write just one of those classic Disney movie songs. That would probably make me really happy, that there's some song that just means so much to so many people, from when they're really young all the way until they're like really old. They just still love that song. And you know, like The Circle of Life, or
Right.
I don't know if The Circle of Life is one that people
No, I think so.
Yeah.
I think there's.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's always. It's
Yeah.
very evocative. Anytime I'm not
Yeah.
going to try to imitate it, but the
or A Whole
opening-
New World,
Yeah.
or something like that.
That
you
one's
know.
good too. I like that,
Yeah.
and that's a very unique answer. We haven't gotten that one on the spot
Okay,
before,
all
so
right.
thank you for sharing.
Yeah,
You have a
yeah.
lot of perspective on this, being from a bunch of different places, being surrounded by so many musicians. What makes Rochester such a great place for original music to thrive?
Well, I think maybe one part of it, you're saying why it is?
Well, I'm asking you why.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's because there's a really good ratio of venues. I don't want to make this too mathematical, but it is kind of mathematical. A good ratio of like good quality musicians to venues to people who just want to go and listen to live music. And it's not too big and spread out.
Right.
Again, I'm sorry I'm making this very mathematical, but I actually think that's important. You know, like you can find parking. It's not like too hard to find parking. It's not too expensive. You know, people probably feel that I think that there's less of a barrier here to see live music.
Yeah.
I think that's big. And then, yeah, I think that it probably helps that there's some really great schools around here too. Like Eastman being here obviously doesn't hurt, you know, because
Not so much.
Yeah, because then the quality of the musicians is just people just have a certain expectation, and I think high expectations is kind of the key to life in a lot of ways. You know, I think the Rochester people have higher expectations, and so because of that, I think that you know, the music scene like lives up to that, if that makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
We got one more for you. Do you have any
Okay.
advice for aspiring artists?
Yeah, well, my advice is just do it. You know, like they say at Nike. Like just go out and practice your art, whatever it might be, and share it as much as you possibly can, and don't be afraid to make mistakes, and just don't be afraid to take risks, and just even if you have to like shut your eyes and just push yourself, you know, blindly into it, just do it, because the worst thing that's going to happen is you're going to learn from your mistakes. So yeah.
Exactly. Sarah, thank you so much for your time. Really
Yeah.
appreciate it. Dan Gross, Sarah Eide, thank you all so much for watching this Spotlight special of the Rochester Indie Musician Spotlight. One more time, Sarah Eide. Let's give her a warm round of applause.
Josh Pettinger
All right,
and crew at Wicked Squid Studios on Smith Street in Rochester have the expertise, experience, and the facility to handle all of your band's needs with an emphasis on community experience and fun. Drop them a line today to schedule your next recording session or to become a member of their studio today. This episode is brought to you by Bop Shop Records, Bernunzio Uptown Music, Sound Source, and Heads Brewing. Our home again this season is the warm, creative space of Bop Shop Records. At 1460 Monroe Avenue, Bop Shop Records is celebrating 30 years of presenting live creative music and is the best place in the 585 for jazz, blues, and classic rock in a curated vinyl selection. Bernunzio Uptown Music, located in Rochester's East End, has been providing Rochester and the world with quality vintage, new, and used string instruments since 1976. Bernunzio's also offers concerts, workshops, and jam sessions. They are now also a registered Stetson hat dealer. Find your sound in a Stetson. Trusted by musicians, recording engineers, and consumers, SoundSource is the place to go for audio gear, repair, consignment needs, and to have all your questions answered by knowledgeable and friendly staff. Visit them at 161 Norris Drive today. Good people, great beer, amazing music. Three Heads Brewing on Atlantic Avenue is quickly becoming a Rochester and regional favorite for unique brews and one-of-a-kind music. Concerts are Thursday through Saturday, with the Rochester residency kicking each week off, but the beer and good times are on tap every day of the week.
Okay, this song is called Prodigal Son. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. I pack my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. I leave a home that was built to last. I think it's time I left the nest. I say, I pack my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. Why leave a home that was built to last? They say with tears in their eyes, feeling helpless. We made this with you in mind. Why leave it behind? Haven't we taught you well? Was this all just a waste of our time? Well, I know this home was built to hold, built with hands other than my own. Built with blood and sweat and bone, but not my own blood and sweat and bone. Oh no, you see, I am a prodigal son, the one who squanders everything you've done. I'm self-aware what I've become, yes I am. I'm the lesser of two, the lost one, thrown to the windward, left undone. Strangely self-aware what I've become, yes I am. I'm your prodigal son. What I've learned is not a waste, it gave me grace. But that food you made me, mother, gave me the taste. What I learned is not a waste, it gave me faith in myself. But those boots you gave me, father, well, they're helping me walk away, you see. I am a prodigal son, the one who squanders everything you've done. I'm self-aware what I've become, yes I am. I'm the lesser of two, the lost one, thrown to the windward, left undone. Strangely self-aware what I've become, yes I am. I'm your prodigal son. Feed you and who will clothe you, who will love you and who will hold you. No one else can love you as their own. Well, who will need you and who will please you, who will succeed you and who will be you. I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. lost one. Watch me squander everything you've ever done. I am a lesser of two, the lost one, thrown to the wind, work left undone. I am, I am, I am.
Give me 1 sec and then you...
This song is called Pour Over Me. The pictures you paint, the scenes you create, I'm captivated. And I'm in awe at the power you wield, how you hardly lift the pen, and still the poetry is spilled. Please pour over me while I pour over you. Won't you pour over me? How do you collect all this pain? You spin it into gold and give it away. And how can I watch you carve the stone and keep my heart at ease while the beauty unfolds? Please pour over me while I pour over you. Won't you pour over me? Please
Thank you. Okay, so so this next song, actually, yeah, all the following songs are on the new album. So this song is called Little O. Hey, little O, I know what you've been feeling, how your heart's been a-reeling. Oh, your daddy told me so. Little O, I feel your heart's anticipation, how you have been here waiting for my return, my return. When storm clouds gather, the waves are wild, you know that I would rather be with you, my sweet child. Crossing this dark ocean makes it hard to reconcile. My true devotion has been you all the while, you all the while. Hey, little O, I know what you've been feeling, how your heart's been a-reeling. Oh, your daddy told me so. Little O, I feel your heart's anticipation, how you have been here waiting for my return, my return. When the road I travel is on the decline, I cannot help but think how I left you and your brother behind. And it's hard to say if it's been worth all this time, but it's hard to stay when you have a mountain to climb. I have a mountain to climb. Oh, my mountain, are you worth all this time? Oh, my mountain, are you worth all this time? Hey, little O, I know what you've been feeling, how your heart's been a-reeling. Oh, your daddy told me so. Little O, anticipation, how you have been here waiting for my return, my return. Oh, 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 Hey, little O, I know what you've been feeling, how your heart's been a-reeling. Oh, your daddy told me so. Little O, I feel your heart's anticipation, how you have been here waiting for my return, patiently waiting for my return. I will return. Thank you. So that last song was about was about my daughter and when I'm away from her, and it's a lullaby. I literally wrote it as I was rocking her to sleep, so it's the most organic lullaby ever written, maybe. Just kidding. And then, but this song offers a different aspect of my relationship with her, and it's called, and I should say she just turned 3. It's called Cry, Cry, Cry. Stop, you're never gonna stop, never gonna stop. It doesn't matter how hard I try, doesn't seem to be any side. Just when I think that your tears have run dry, you cry, cry, cry. Hey, it doesn't matter how hard I try, still I'm feeling like the bad guy. I cannot seem to do anything right. You cry, and I cry when you cry. Hey, yeah. So those last 2 songs I wrote about/for my daughter, and this one I kind of wrote. I wrote it for my son, but I'm kind of talking to myself in the song. It's kind of for me and my son at the same time. It's called Today, and basically it's about those times when you're really hard on yourself and you realize that you can't really best love the people around you unless you actually like really first learn to love yourself. So that's what this song is about. Every day
is a battle to quiet my mind. The constant struggle with things that take time. Comparing to those who seem to be on the summit of their life. It's hard to find peace in the climb. But when I think of you, I somehow understand what I don't overcome will play out once again. And I want you to be patient with yourself. I'll give you all the patience I can give. Still, there's one more thing that I can do to help see you through. Today, I'll be patient with myself. There has been a time of 20 when I was less than kind. Just ordinary moments that weigh heavy on my mind. Small burdens I carry that weigh more over time. No deed will ever satisfy. But when I think of you, I start to realize what I don't learn to do will play out in your life. And I want you to forgive yourself. I'll forgive you and I'll try to understand. Still, there's one more thing that I can do to help see you through. Today, I'll forgive myself. The older I get, the more I start to see the ways in which I am measured by my society. My body, my mind and heart I criticize. My value I sometimes deny. I somehow understand what I don't overcome will play out once again. And when I think of you, I start to realize what I don't learn to do will play out in your life. And I want you to love yourself. I'll give you all the love that I have to give. Still, there's one more thing that I can do to help see you through. Today, I will love myself. I said today I will love myself.
Thank you. All right, I would like to invite back up Chris and Will. And Dan, I should have asked you about this ahead of time, but I was hoping to get some audience participation on this song.
You guys want to participate? Yeah.
All right. I love the enthusiasm. Okay, that's why we need you, Nathan, to be extra enthusiastic. Do you think you can do that for like 3 more minutes? Just to be enthusiastic, that's all. Yeah, okay. Great. Okay, awesome. All right, so this last song, I actually have it as a music video. It is the second track on the album. And the album is, again, it's like a lot about my experience being a aspiring, well, I mean, I am a musician. I don't know what I'm aspiring to. An aspiring Disney songwriter. Disney, are you watching this? Thank you. And then also a mother. And but this song is actually a kid's song, and I feel like sometimes it's good to be a kid every once in a while, maybe all the time, really. But so I'm gonna need everyone here to participate. Are you guys ready? So why don't you come a little closer? Yeah, you've got to come close. Yeah, those of you sitting down, you're fine. You don't need to come any closer. All right, so this is what you're gonna do. All right, so this song is called the Bridge Song, and you can sing along if you feel confident enough to do that, but in the very least, I'm hoping you can clap. So we're gonna do this. I'm gonna be a bridge, clap, clap, a big wide open bridge, clap, clap. You can walk upon me, no matter which side you live. You could do extra if you want. I'm gonna be a bridge, clap, clap, a big wide open bridge. Everybody is welcome here, no matter which side you live. Yep, you got it. One more thing. I prepared these guys. I was like, I'm going to stop a lot and explain things. So then there's going to be a little instrumental section, and during that part, you can go all out with the claps. And what I suggest, but you can do whatever you want, what I suggest is you go like this. Or something along those lines. Be inventive, okay? And clap loudly, all right? Because there aren't that many of you. Are you guys up for the task?
Yeah.
Okay. The key here is you have to like really feel these lyrics as you're clapping, and then you'll find this magical power. I'm just kidding. Okay. Doing kids music just starts to do this to you. Okay. I think you guys are ready. Mama and Daddy told me it takes many kinds. Most are different from me, living on the other side. The world is getting smaller, but we're still far apart. Oh, I know how to make a difference. I know a good place to start. Are you guys ready? Nathan's ready. I'm gonna be a bridge, big wide open bridge. You can walk upon me, no matter which side you live. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. Everybody is welcome here, no matter which side you live. Well, there are many kinds of bridges, I wonder which kind I'll be. Covered bridge in the countryside, big steel bridge in the city. Kind that lights up at night, the kind that sparkles in the daylight. Or maybe in the mountains or way up high, I wonder which kind I'll be. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. You can walk upon me, no matter which side you live. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. Everybody is welcome here, no matter which side you live. All right, I want to hear these claps now. You guys ready? Will, So, you guys have been doing really great. Please remember this is a kid song, okay? Because what you're about to hear is going to sound a little silly, but it's still very important. Every single word in this is very important, okay? You ready?
Well, if you wanna be a bridge to any kind of bridge will do, wide or narrow, big or small, there's a place for you. Maybe not the kind that has a troll, and maybe not the kind where you pay a toll, but really any kind of bridge at all, there's a place for you. Oh yes, and I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. You can walk upon me no matter which side you live. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. Everybody is welcome here, no matter which side you live. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. You can walk upon me, no matter which side you live. I'm gonna be a bridge, a big wide open bridge. Everybody is welcome here, no matter which side you live. No matter which side you live.
Great job, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Will, Chris, Sean, Nathan.
I pack my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. I leave a home that was built to last. I think it's time I left the nest. I say, I pack my bags, I'm leaving home into the wilderness all alone. Why leave a home that was built to last? They say with tears in their eyes, feeling helpless. We made this with you in mind. Why leave it behind? Haven't we taught you well? Was this all just a waste of our time? Well, I know this home was built to hold, built with hands other than mine.